120 days in jail and or a $750 fine. In Colorado, that's what constitutes a Class 2 misdemeanor. And you might wonder why I'm mentioning it, but we're going to get to that. See, hazing is something that I feel like is growing again quietly. And kids are being told, don't talk to your parents, don't tell anyone we're doing this, don't say anything to anyone. And that's abusive language. I mean, how many of us as parents have told our child, if anyone ever says this is just a secret between you and me, don't tell anybody? How many of us have told our children that that's not okay and they need to have a conversation with us? But they're not having the conversations with us because this is happening in their high school sports teams and they want to, quote, fit in. And here's some important information. I'm going to read it straight from the thing. 2024 Colorado revised statutes. You can look this up in your state for what it is. Criminal code, it gives the number. Article 9, offense against public peace, order, and decency. Section 18-9-124, hazing penalties legislative declaration. The General Assembly finds that while some forms of initiation constitute acceptable behavior, hazing sometimes degenerates into a dangerous form of intimidation, degradation. The General Assembly also recognizes that although certain criminal statutes cover the more egregious hazing activities, other activities that may not be covered by existing criminal statutes may threaten the health of students if not stopped early enough and may escalate into serious injury. In enacting this section, it is not the intention of the General Assembly to change the penalty for activity that is covered by another criminal statute. It is rather the intent of the General Assembly to define hazing. Their definition of hazing means any activity by which a person recklessly endangers the health or safety of or causes a risk of bodily injury to an individual for the purpose of initiation or admission into an affiliation with any student organization, except that hazing does not include customary athletic events or other similar contests or competitions, or authorized training activities conducted by members of the armed forces of the state of Colorado. Hazing includes but is not limited to forced and prolonged physical activity, forced consumption of any food, beverage, medication, or controlled substance, whether or not prescribed, in excess of the usual amounts for human consumption, or forced consumption of any substance not generally intended for human consumption. Prolonged deprivation of sleep, food, or drink is also. It shall be unlawful for any person to engage in hazing. Any person who violates subsection 3 of this commits a Class 2 misdemeanor. Now, our school district takes this so seriously that they suspended the entire Littleton High School football team for multiple games because of an incident where in 2024, in August of 2024, a video of at least one student causing harm to another student in a hazing incident went viral. Someone posted it online. And it was then reported by said students' parents. And the end result was that 2 of the coaches were arrested and then fired. So they lost their jobs over it. And 1 student was also arrested. In the last 25 years, 122 college students have died due to hazing, and that's only the ones that have been reported as hazing. And you may think that's a really small number, but that's like 25 students, that's 5 students a year for the last 25 years. And if it were your child, you would probably feel differently about it. A lot of our teens are already in crisis mode with depression and anxiety and the pressures of being a teenager. Hazing doesn't need to be something that's added on top of it. And when we know that some states are taking this seriously enough that they are having the coaches charged and firing coaches over incidents of hazing, are you the student who's going to get your coach fired? Is that who you want to be as a human? And you can say, well, somebody did it to me when I was a freshman. It does not matter. You are a better human being than that, are you not? And if you're a parent who's hosting an event and you know that hazing activities are happening and you don't stop it, in Colorado, you can be held liable because they held the coaches liable. Now, this may not be true in every state, and you should look up what your state laws are because you'd hate to lose your job or your home or your career over something as stupid as your high school student or your college student hazing someone else because someone did it to them, and so it's only fair. And if you're one of the parents who's like laughing about it and thinks it's funny, what if something bad happens to your kid because of one of these hazing events? What then? Is it still funny? I am more than tired of the boys will be boys rhetoric, more than tired of it. And if this were my child, and we have had this conversation several times with both boys, there would be so much trouble. So much trouble. I would be the one reporting them, and I would make sure that they were not involved in any sports after that at the high school level. Why? Because I certainly wouldn't want to encourage the behavior, and I certainly wouldn't be paying for the damn sport. We have just been exposed to the biggest cover up of abuse in all of our lifetimes. All of our lifetimes. And yet we still have hazing and parents thinking that it's funny. It's not, because these kids that are hazing will probably abuse other people down the road. And the dichotomy, even in our household, where we have one student who plays a sport and the coach has absolutely said, if you get caught doing anything you shouldn't be, I hold you to the highest standard of what the school student athlete policy is. And that means if you get caught hazing, you are done. No questions asked. You are off the team. I don't care if your scholarship depends on you playing this season. I am done with you. And the other one, who every week there's a new hazing challenge. I don't even know if those kids realize they're putting their coach's job at risk, because the parents are speaking up. And if the parents are speaking up and he doesn't find a way to stop it and it eventually gets above his head, there's a bigger problem that he faces. And that's losing not only his job as a coach, but his job as a teacher. And I kind of wish that they would hold parents as accountable for incidents as simple as hazing, where there is physical abuse and harm to other students, as they did with, it's your weapon, you are responsible for it, therefore you are charged with the crime too. If you're seeing this and you live in Colorado and you know that your child is involved in hazing or is being hazed by an athlete, talk to the coaches, bring it up. If you can get video and photos, even better, because they're stupid enough to take them. Trust me, I know. And if nothing happens in the benefit of, the next step is to go above that person's head, talk to the principal, and if nothing still happens, your superintendent. Between COVID and the online bullshit these kids already deal with, it's hard to be a teenager. There is no reason that as parents, we should make it even harder for them to live a normal life without all of the pressures of being perfect and keeping a secret that could get them harmed. You should never ask that of them, and you should absolutely speak up for them. And if you're one of the parents who think hazing is just funny, please unfollow me. Please block me. Please walk away from me and never have another conversation with me, because I am not interested in your opinion on this. Abuse is never funny. It's never a joke. Ever.